Hi everybody, it's Jill Blanchett with Green Thumb Stampers. I'm here for the fourth card in the Sweet Springtime Paper Pumpkin Kit. That was the kit we had for February. Here's the card we're going to make. It's a slide lock card, so this will slide over to allow you to open it up. And locks back in place. So let's get started on that one. We are going to need, I didn't want to do this, but I had to cut into this card. The other card did not leave me. Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you. If you have the flap left from the card that we cut the envelope open on, this card, if you have the flap left from the envelope, you're good. Use the flap. Otherwise, cut this off. I didn't want to cut into another envelope, so cut this part off, and then you will need a strip of that. And we're going to use one of our little bunnies and chicks from the kit, and that should do it. Let me get the supplies. This card is going to use a piece of pecan pie at 10.5 by 5.5. I've got a piece of basic white. I'm not picking these pieces up very well today. For the front at 5.25 by 4, and another piece the same size for the inside. And then this piece is 5.25 by 1 3/4. And I just got a little tiny strip that's about 5/8 inch wide by 5 inches long, and that's scrap paper. We need some scrap petal pink and some scrap pecan pie to make the little circle that the bunnies are going to sit on, and then we'll need a variety of punches. So I'll show you those when we get started. Well, let me grab my trimmer, because we'll need to be doing some scoring first off. So grab your piece of paper, and we're going to score it at 4.25, but just a smidge under 4.25, like just a little hair, not even a 1/16. We want the this piece to fold over good. So we're going to score that one. Then we're going to move this out to 8.5, and we're going to score it again. I'm not sure if I'm okay. Then in this portion here, this 2-inch portion here, we want to go and make a pencil mark at 1 inch. So I'm going to put this up there, and we're going to make a pencil mark at 1 inch. Okay. Then we're going to, I'm going to make sure I'm in the camera. We're going to put that pencil mark in our channel, and we're going to score down to the bottom, downward to the corner. So this piece is going to fold in, so we'll want it at the angle like this. So if it's easier for you to look at it how it's going to be folded, find the mark at 1 inch, or make your mark again at 1 inch. We'll do it this way just for visual. And then you're going to cut down to that corner. Put your mark in the channel, and then put your point in the channel. and cut it off. So you want it to cut in like that. Then this one's going to fold over. And because we scored this just a smidge under at 4 and not even the 16th, this will fold over and lay flat, otherwise it will buckle. So I'm going to score all those real good afterwards. But now we want to take our, I've got a white layer for these. So we've got a white layer for the front of this one. Then we need a white layer for this piece. So now for the flap on the right hand side, we're going to put our paper over. This piece is 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. So we're going to line it up at 3/4 and make our little mark. Then we're going to leave that in the channel and move the bottom over into the channel. And slice that up. So now we've got the next layer done. So while we're here, I'll take my 1 1/2 inch strip that's 5 inches long, and we are going to mark that one at 1/2 inch. Let me just make sure. So pull that over to your trimmer on the 1/2 inch. And if you don't have a trimmer like this where you can mark it on the right, then just make sure that you are only leaving, you're measuring like to this way. So it's 1 3/4 or 1 1/2 inches wide. So you want to mark at the 1/2 inch. Because if you have to flip the paper over, let me show you. Let me cut this first. So we're going to put a 1/2 inch mark in there and move it over to the edge. So if we weren't kind of paying attention to how we were cutting, and I measured it like I told you to put it at 3/4, make a dot, and then if you'd have cut it like this, you'd have had to flip it over. And I made that mistake when I was doing this. So if you don't have a trimmer that allows you to move it over to this side to do the measurement, then maybe flip it over. So this one, we needed the mark at the 1/2 inch. Put our mark there, pull it over, cut it down, and then we can flip it over. Otherwise, yeah, I can confuse you more with some other measurements, but I'm not gonna. So now we are good there. I'm gonna move this out of the way for a second. I'm gonna go ahead and glue these together while I got them all right here. And then just, eyeball your measurements to make sure that everything's going to be in alignment. I'm going to go ahead and glue this on to the card before I get out the next batch of things we're going to do. I might have zoomed in too much again today. Glue this down. And then over here, I will go ahead and glue on our white. To the front. All right, now we need a 5 inch by 3 3/4 inch piece for the top, and we're going to use our box. So you can use your scissors if you would like. You can use an X-Acto knife. You can use your new Crafters tools from the, let me show you the Crafters knife that fits on our pick tool. That's what we'll put on here just so. So this head with the putty unscrews. We'll screw in our X-Acto knife. And then I'm just trimming down and across. This should be plenty big enough. So I'm not really measuring or anything. Put the lid back on that so we don't cut our fingers off. And then, let me get it back out. Just need to get it started. Lift up the corners a little bit to be able to get a good grab on it. You don't need to get too much of the cardboard box. See here, I'm getting too much. You don't need to get all of that. You just kind of need to pull it and get enough of the shiny vinyl-ish wrap from it. So now we can cut this down to 3 3/4 by 5. Let's see what we got here. So we want to go 5. I'm going to go a little bit longer just so I make sure I got some edges being cut off with the same side. And you know, if you don't cut straight, it's not going to be straight. So here's hoping. Cut okay. Because you don't get a lot of do-overs when you're using the box. So we're going to think that that cut out okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and glue this onto the front of the card. You can use your snail tape, your Stamp and Seal, plus you need some nice heavy-duty glue to hold this piece in place. That looks pretty good. Pull it over. All right, we're going to just stick that right there and leave it. As I told you in one of the other videos, the one where I used the box, I thought I had the piece sitting right here that I did. I wanted to show you how the glue dried, but so now here we go. We've got the front of our card ready and the side piece. So now you need to take one of your, like this classic label punch, or if you have even the older, it made a long oval. I think it's I don't have it here. I believe it's one of the whale tail punches, the black ones. But this one will work, this classic label if you have it. The other one that I'm trying to tell you about was rounded on the ends. Came about quite a while ago. So take your punch and then put it all the way in. Put your card all the way inside there. And then you're going to just punch out. You want to leave a little bit of space on the edge. I'm going to go about right there. Not quite center. Let me see if I could see on the... You want about a 1/2 inch to stick off. on this side. Okay, and close it up onto the flap and draw the edge where the thing folds. And again, it should be all the way into the punch, all the way down, and then you're going to punch that one out. This is going to create the locking part of the card, like that. All right, so I think while I'm at it, we're going to stamp on this strip, and I used the Sweetly Scripted. You can definitely leave this strip off. I just needed to put it on because of the way that I pieced my pieces of the box together. I had a seam there, so I came up with this to put on it. And you don't need to put this unless you have this stamp set and want to do that. But if you get this stamp set, and I'm using Early Espresso, you will need the long block. And I believe I have an old one that sits at my desk. It is the I. You will need the I block for the sentiments on this stamp set. Just a heads up. I don't want you to get it and then it's not going to fit on anything that you have. So we're going to go ahead and ink up stamp down our congratulations. And I'm going to glue that on just because I'm at that point. All right. So go ahead and glue this on. Just going to put it over here to the edge. Leave a little bit of the green showing. But you don't want it to stick up too high because you need this to slide around. Now, to make that sliding mechanism, I've got a 2.5 inch punch, circle punch, and some pecan paper. So I'm going to use that for the back, okay? So we're going to put this, you want it to cover your hole. So we're going to put this on there, but I don't want it sticking over too far over the hole because that'll give me a false sense of how much space I got to go this way. So I'm going to cover it up. And now we're going to put some dimensionals in there. And because I'm using a couple layers, I want to make sure that I'm going to put 2 on there. So we're going to put the flat side down in that channel. And now this is what I was telling you. This glue that looks like it's seeping through, it's going to dry clear and you're not going to see that sticking, showing through there. And so now stick the second one on top of it. Like I said, just so that we've got enough height to clear all the all right. hang on a second. Standing on the other side of this camera stand again today. I just want to make sure that I'm getting everything where it needs to go, and getting it in place. So now we need to make a top circle, and I'm going to use my 2 1/4 inch punch out of Pecan Pie. And I have another punch, I don't have the name of it, but it's like a 2 inch, it's not really scallop, but sort of scalloped, pinking shears looking. It's like a seal, like a sticker seal, if you ever got a gold seal in your day at a school or anything. So I'm going to glue those two together. And you could just use another circle if you wanted to. You don't need to have this seal. It's not adding anything to it. So now you're going to just put this on the top. So what I found is go ahead and slide it over to this edge. Just to pretend, you know, just check it out, and then put the top seal on, right? Because you want to make sure that it's going to move this way enough to allow this to open. And then when you push it back, it's okay if this shows, but you can also pull it back just a smidge. It's got it locked shut, but you're not seeing that channel that we made in there anywhere. And then I just glued the bunny on flat because I figured there was enough going on with it. I glued him flat on the bottom, I should say. And then I'm just going to put a little baby dimensional behind his ears. Just to let him pop up a little bit there. So let's stick that on. We're going to glue him flat and then just pop up right there at his ears. Now you can slide that over, open that up, and then also to keep in mind, you don't want to get too big of a circle so that it hits the fold. This will come right to the edge. So check your positioning. You even can start this way if you want. Put the circle all the way to the edge, and then put the dimensionals in the track with the circle all the way over there. Then you know that you're going to be good, that it's going to open and close. Now on the inside, we're going to use Welcome Baby in Pecan Pie. And then I'll stamp a flower down in the bottom. Oh, I think this one I'm going to do a bunny rabbit. I'm not going to color him in or anything. I'm just going to leave him on there. Plain, but I'm going to do a brown bunny rabbit. You could definitely color him in if you wanted. I'm just going to leave him like that. And then I will grab my little gray and just ground him. Just so he doesn't look like he's floating around there. Then we'll go ahead and glue that into the center. Like so. And we're done. We are done with our fourth and final slide lock card for this kit. Thanks for watching, everybody.